Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. It's a very wonderful Hump Day Wednesday today. It is also a pretty big time do or die kind of day. And, oof, normally I would say be bullish on days like today because we do have NVIDIA's earnings and we're not exactly seeing the strength in the market going into NVIDIA's earnings that, I would say normally we have seen in the past. So, yeah, I don't really know what to kind of think. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about it. We didn't really gap up. It was just kind of a flat open there. Traded down there for the first 45 minutes, kind of bounced here over the past 45 minutes. So that's kind of where we are. SPY's currently down about 0.5%. Q's, on the other hand, is a different story. Q's, little subtle gap down, but they traded down a little bit harder there the first 45 minutes. You actually see they actually broke yesterday morning's low. So that's kind of an interesting one. Currently down 0.2% because we did bounce here over the past 45 minutes or so. IWM, nice move here on the IWM of nothingness. Just a little bit of gap down, traded lower, bounced. The bounce over the past 45 minutes has kind of gotten back to where the open was. So we just didn't sell down as hard here on the IWM. Anyways, IWM currently down about 0.2%. DIA is basically flat right now, slightly negative. Nice little gap up, traded down first 45 minutes, bounced here the past 45 minutes, looking okay. RSP currently down 0.2%, a little bit of a gap up, trading lower, and bounced. That's how some of them look intraday. Yeah, yesterday's gap down just looks so bad. Now it just kind of looks like it's retesting into the moving averages. Looks like it might just roll over here on the RSP. And we are seeing the RSP kind of slowly kind of get through these support levels, these moving averages. If we see a pretty big breakdown by tomorrow, on tomorrow's trading activity from NVIDIA's earnings, yeah, that would be something we probably have to really talk about. I'm almost kind of expecting it just because the market has not held up all that much over the past week. Not as much as normal. DIA sit right on top of this previous all-time high. I mean, if you liked yesterday's gap down on some of these ETFs, you got to really like the retest that we got yesterday and into today into the moving averages and say, you know what? I kind of dig it. IWM almost perfectly pulled into this area yesterday with that gap down, and you see the buy up that happened yesterday. It was pretty strong yesterday too, up 0.75% off of a pretty good gap down that was. And now you got a little bit of a gap down today, a little bit, pretty good size lower wick, but it has bounced back pretty good. So if it can end about where it is now, I mean, I'd be willing to be bullish off that, which kind of aligns with what we've been talking about here on the IWM over the past couple of weeks about being bullish into this previous all-time high. Not previous all-time high, but these previous highs over the past couple of months type zone from like that 280 to 225 type level. So it looks pretty good. The Qs. Yeah, the one that's been lagging behind a lot, basically ever since this all-time high back over here in July, mid-July. Down the most today. It's been down pretty good amount. It did retest yesterday and today into that 10 EMA. If you were liking some of the breakdown, especially that we got from like Friday, and you're just waiting to get, kind of that retest in that 10 EMA, and you say, you know what, maybe I'll play it bearish off of that. Yeah, got it. Yeah, it doesn't look great, man. It doesn't look great, and that's one thing. Is like even if NVIDIA that has earnings today, even if they're super good, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be super good for a lot of the other tech stocks out there. SPY, very nice sideways action here over the past 4 days of trading. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely take that bearish if we break that down around the 584 level. Break that down. I'd just hop in, just take that bearish down to probably that 50 EMA. Don't have to be super aggressive, but I would just almost expect it just to happen because we've just kind of consolidated right here. So if you flush out of that, you probably just trigger a bunch of stop losses and it just flushes, kind of like this day back over here on October 31st. So that is kind of what's going on. We'll check in with NVDA. Bounce back to yesterday, slightly negative today. It did have almost a 5% day yesterday. I mean, it is currently down 0.4%, but pretty big lower wick. I mean, the day's going to be mostly tomorrow it's going to be heavily determined by NVIDIA. If NVIDIA has a bad quarter, I mean, the whole market will drop. If NVIDIA has a great quarter, depending on possibly what they say, I mean, it's very possible that they have a great day and a lot of other tech stocks, they don't. So still one that I would, if you're going to, man, if you would want to play this, I'm trying to think of like a really good way, but I would probably look to play it with puts, a put spread, a bearish put spread, and probably not on NVIDIA, but maybe like AMD or something like that. And AMD might not be bad to see it kind of retesting that 10 EMA. I kind of dig that. You can see it's been on a nice little downtrend. I could dig doing a bear put spread for this Friday. You keep it kind of tight, right? Probably $1 or 1 point strike prices in here. So you can maybe do like the 136, 135 bear put spread, something like that. You could do the 135, 134, but that's something that I would rather do just because the option time and volatility is probably not baked in as much, but that'd be something, the way I would probably look to play it, just because the options are not crazy priced. Anyways, the VIX, VIX, continuing to move higher. Okay, continuing to move higher. DXY, dollar index. Okay, dollar index. We got a nice little flag pattern then over the 3 previous days. We were bouncing very nicely today, back up to the highs of the past week. Looks pretty good. It's a pretty good move. GLD, I'm kind of surprised this thing has continued to bounce today, especially with DXY dollar pushing up as strong as it is. So dollar moving up, so is gold. That's why I'd rather be bullish on pullbacks. But I just thought and you know what, we still easily roll over there on gold, but yields, 10-year yield, man, that looks like a really good kind of consolidation coming up here. Nice little lower wick, bounce, 10 and 2 inversion, still just hanging out just above the 0 line, just not doing a whole lot of anything. You got the HYG, looks pretty good. See if this breaks down, but it looks pretty good to continue higher. LQD still just consolidating sideways here. Nice little gap down today. Ooh, see if that breaks down going forward. Same thing with the TLT. I mean, these things, even though the TLT, LQD are kind of just like trying to base here, but they are still kind of slipping through some of these support resistance areas. Like you see, we based kind of in this same area here back in the beginning of the year, and that's probably one reason why it's having a really hard time here, at least on the TLT side, getting through all the support and resistance type area. All right, as far as sector rotation on the day, healthcare finally bouncing back and doing something good on a deck. It's been a few weeks since healthcare has been leading the day. Energy's also been doing pretty good, even though energy's had a pretty good start to the day. It's definitely been coming back. Communications outperforming, materials outperforming, utilities, financials, industrials, and real estate all outperforming slightly there. Tech underperforming, discretionary is underperforming, staples lower end of the day. As far as intraday price action, we got healthcare, we got real estate leading the day of the bullishness intraday. Communications, staples, materials, energies all outperforming. Utilities, slight outperformance there. Tech underperforming, as well as discretionaries, industrials, and financials all underperforming there.